Hi, this is Alfawzia Nihar from At Home Tuition. Welcome to our session today. In today's video, let us discuss operations on fraction. This is the third video under the topic operations on integers. Now, let us discuss the operation subtracting fractions. Subtracting is almost the same thing we did in adding fractions. Only difference is we would perform subtraction instead addition. Otherwise, we follow same rules. Here, we can subtract fractions by two methods. One is by cross multiplication method and second one is LCM method. Let me start with subtracting fractions with same denominator. Let me write the question on the board. Do you see the question on the board? We have two fractions with a subtraction sign in between. I would like to remind you the rule. We could add or subtract any fraction only if the denominators are same. If they are not the same, we cannot add it directly. We have to convert the fractions into equivalent fractions. Particularly, the fractions must have same denominators. Only then we could perform addition or subtraction. Okay, please look at the question. The denominators are same here, so we can perform subtraction directly. Okay, let me show you the steps on the board. Keep the denominator common and just perform the operation given in the top row. 7 minus 4 is 3. If possible, you can reduce the answer to the lowest term in case if there is a common factor between the numerator and denominator. Here in this example, we do not find any common factor between 3 and 5. So this should be the lowest term. So this is the final answer for this example. While you're dealing with adding or subtracting fractions, you must be careful with the rules of signs. Okay, let me show you next example. Even in this example, the denominators are same. So keep the denominators common and perform the operation given in the top row. When you get two numbers with different signs, you have to perform subtraction and keep the larger number sign in your answer. This is one rule in adding and subtraction. We are going to apply the same rule. Please look at the two numbers given in top row, 4 and 7. 4 is positive, 7 is negative. So you have to perform subtraction. When you subtract 4 from 7, you will be getting 3. Among the two numbers 4 and 7, 7 is the larger one with a negative sign before it. So you have to keep a negative sign before your answer 2. Please compare example 1 and 2. Hope you understand the difference between these two examples. So you always have to keep the larger number sign in your answer while doing addition and subtraction. Now let us see how to subtract fractions with different denominators. Let me show you some examples on the board. Let me write the question first. Do you see the question? Please look at the denominators first. The denominators are different. To solve this problem, first we will need to look at the denominators 5 and 2 and see what multiples of these numbers are common. Here we are going to solve this example by least common multiple method first, and then I'll show you how to solve this using cross multiplication method. Okay, now let me list out the multiples of 5 first and then I'll list out the multiples of 2. Please look at the board. So in multiples of 5 and 2, the least common multiple is 10. Am I right? Using this least common multiple, we can change both the fractions to a common denominator. Now we will change 4 over 5 and 1 over 2 into their equivalent fractions with denominator 10. That is our least common multiple. 5 times 2 will give you 10. So I am going to multiply the first fraction by 2. 2 times 5 will give you 10. So I am going to multiply the second fraction by 5. Whatever operation you are performing with the denominator, you have to do the same thing with the numerator too. Only then you will be getting an equivalent fraction. Now let's perform multiplication. 8, 10, 5, 10. Now the denominators are same. So let us keep it common and perform the operation given in the top row. So we will get 3 over 10. If possible, we can reduce the answer to its lowest terms. There is no common factor between 3 and 10. So this should be the lowest term. So this is the final answer for this problem. Hope you're clear with this example. Now let me show an example using cross multiplication method. Do you see the question? Here the denominators are not same. We know how to solve this problem using LCM method. Now let me show how to solve the same problem using cross multiplication method. Cross multiplication is nothing but multiplying the first fraction by the denominator of second fraction and multiplying the second fraction by the denominator of first fraction. Okay, let me write it on the board. I'm not finding LCM here. Multiply the first fraction by 8. 8 is nothing but the denominator of second fraction. Now multiply the second fraction by 7. 7 is denominator of first fraction. Now perform multiplication. Denominator is 56. The denominators are same now. We didn't list out the multiples, we didn't find the LCM. We just did cross multiplication and made the denominators same. Keep the denominator common and perform the operation given in the top row. We will get, if possible, we can reduce the fraction to lowest term. But here, there is no common factor between 19 and 56. So this is the lowest term and our final answer for this example. Hope you're clear with this example. It is always good to convert these mixed fractions into simple fractions before working out. You can give your answer either as fraction, mixed number or decimals. It purely depends upon the directions given in your question. Please check whether to give your answer in fraction or mixed number or decimal. Because in some questions, you may also be directed to give your answer in decimals. For all the examples here, I am giving my answer as fractions. Unless mentioned, you need not change this way. If it is particularly mentioned, you can give your answer in mixed form or fraction or decimals. If you want to give your answer in decimals, you just need to divide the numerator by the denominator. Now let us take an example of subtracting fractions. I'm going to take 3 fractions here. We have 3 fractions. The denominators are different. First, let us list out the multiples of 10 and 5. By looking at the list of multiples, you can easily find the least common multiple. The least common multiple for this is 10. So, we should make the fractions equivalent to a fraction with denominator 10. The first fraction is already with the denominator 10. So, we have to rewrite the other 2 fractions. 5 times 2 would give you 10. So, I am going to multiply the second fraction and third fraction by 2. Multiply second by 2. Multiply the third one by 2. Now perform multiplication. The first fraction will be the same. 4 times 2, 5 times 2, 3 times 2, 5 times 2. Now the denominators are same. So let us keep the denominator common and write all the terms in top row. Now we are going to perform the respected operation. 9 minus 8 first. 9 is a positive number and 8 is a negative number. So when you get two numbers with different sign, you have to perform subtraction. 9 minus 8 is 1. For the answer, you always have to keep the larger numbers sign. Among the two numbers 9 and 8, 9 is the larger one and it is a positive. So your answer 1 should be a positive 1. So 9 minus 8 is positive 1. 1 minus 6 is 1 and 6 are two numbers with different signs. So you have to perform subtraction. If you subtract 1 from 6, you will get 5. And among 1 and 6, 6 is the largest one, which is a negative 1. So keep your answer a negative sign. So negative 5 over 10. Does this make sense to you? So negative 5 over 10. 5 goes one time in top row, 5 goes two times in bottom row. This is the lowest term. You cannot reduce it further. Now I can show the same step again in a bit different way. We know that whenever we get two numbers with same sign, we have to perform addition. Here negative 8 and negative 6 are numbers with same sign. So you have to perform addition but keep the sign as it is. So you will get, if you add 8 and 6, you will get 14. Please note that we have two numbers now. When you get two numbers with different sign, you have to perform subtraction. So when you subtract 9 from 14, you will get 5. Please make sure that you keep the larger number sign in your answer. Among 9 and 14, 14 is the largest one, which has negative sign before that. So I'm going to write a negative sign before the answer. Now we can reduce the fraction. 5 and 10 has a common factor 5. 5 goes one time in 5 and two times in 10. Hope you're clear with this example. We can do the same question using cross multiplication method too. Hope you're clear with all the examples we discussed under subtracting fractions. You have to be very confident with the rules of signs while dealing with addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. So it is better for you to go through the rules of signs before starting any addition, subtraction, multiplication and division of fractions. Hope this session